Tak já tě vítám tady u první hodiny angličtiny se mnou, respektive anglického přízvuku. První dotaz, co bych měl, jestli ty žádnej nemáš, takhle z fleku?
Já jsem zvědavá, co bude dál.
Dobře. Tak já se rovnou zeptám, jestli na tebe můžu mluvit rovnou anglicky?
Jo.
Yeah?
Ano.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excellent. So I'll switch to English then, and everything I'll say from now on will be in English. Question number 2 from my end. If you could choose, which you can, would you prefer British English or American English?
I prefer a British English.
British English it is then. All right. Right. So I'll be speaking in British English from now on, which is my own choice as well. If I get to go somewhere, I usually speak in a British accent because that's the one that I like. Right then. When is the last time you've done some English?
Last time, previous week.
All right. What was the situation?
But just a little bit because I read a book in English, Harry Potter. So yeah, I want to practice my English more, so I decided to start reading the book.
All right. Fantastic. So do you want me to give you like a little bit of an intro, tell you a little something about the method that I'm using, or would you like to just start and see?
Yeah, it would be great to hear about your method.
All right. So I'll try to keep it short. If you have more questions, just ask.
Okay.
So the method it's called Accent Artisan, and it's based on two main pillars. Number one is what I call muscle memory, and number two is fear management. Does that make sense?
Yes. The second one, no.
Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Muscle memory is about how you move. So
yeah,
big part of what I do is I'm going to be telling you where to put, what to do with your lips and what to do with your tongue and how to form it. It's because to create the right shape, to create the right sound, you need to create the right shape. So an example that I usually give is when you whistle, you need to have your lips in the right form, right, for it to work. So when you start, people usually don't know how to do it. So you have to calibrate, you have to train a bit. It goes like.
It's funny.
Okay? And then like you find the place where it works, you practice it a little bit, and then every other time you do it, you can hit it correctly. So it's like every time. So it's very similar to language. It's just that particular sounds have a particular shape. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah? Excellent. To give you an example, maybe one of the important, very common faces that we don't have in Czech is this. Yeah, tongue out, basically. And if I were to give you an example, it's things like think, this, that, the thing that they think about. Yeah. So it doesn't work without it. Sometimes people say like the thing that they think about. No. Yeah. So that would be the muscle memory part. That makes sense, hopefully. There's many advantages to it, which is if you train, the movement well, you will never forget it, for example. Yeah. So you can think about it as you learn how to ride a bicycle, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't ride the bicycle for 10 years. But after 10 years, you can still ride a bicycle. Maybe you won't win like Tour de France or something, but you can still do it. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the idea behind that. The fear management part is people tend to be shy, right? Because I'm asking you to make faces like, and it's gonna look silly, and you're gonna look silly. So you have to be okay with that. That's the first step. The second step would be you have to do it in front of other people, right? And that can be a little bit difficult or hard for the ego, because we want to be seen as professionals, like, you know, we have everything under control, we know what we're doing, all those things.
Yeah.
But I would say that, you know, the Joker or the jester, the clown, in, like, you know, mythology, is a precursor to the king, right? Meaning you have to be able to make fun out of yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can learn the stuff, and then when you learn it, you become the king and you know what you're doing. Does that make sense?
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with it. It's I think it's the right method
All right.
to learn something.
All right. Good. So that will be like the short intro. I'll add one more thing to that, which is something that people often don't know. I'm not sure why, but it's kind of important, which is there are different types of languages in terms of how they work. So you can think about it as, you know, Android and iPhone, if you use phones. It's a different operating sort of system. Most European languages, including Czech, that's us, are syllable based. There is technically like 3, but I'll talk just about 2 to keep it simple. So syllable based, syllable is, you know what a syllable is? Just to make
Yeah.
So syllable, Slavica, syllable based languages. Officially, they're called syllable timed, but I prefer syllable based languages. And it simply means that you create the information by saying all the syllables clearly and at the same level. Yeah, that's how you code the information. And the other side, the other party, decodes the information based on that, based on those pieces, those syllables. Yeah. So in Czech, we would say something like mama, ma, maslo. Right? And everything has the same value. Something is longer, sure, but that's a slightly different thing. So na, 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 na. Right? That's just the sound. Na, 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 na. That's clear? That's good?
Yeah.
All right. Now, English is not like this. Yeah, that's like, no. That is not the system of English, and it won't work if you try to, you know, twist it to make it fit. So English is a stress-timed or stress-based language, which means you code the information and I decode the information based on contrast. So things need to contrast. The bigger the contrast, the clearer it is, pretty much.
Yeah.
That might be a little hard to imagine, but I hope it makes sense. I'll give you examples for both to make it even clearer, hopefully. So let's take names. Yeah, names are, people are very attached to their names, so it's a good example, I think. A name like Veronica. Yeah, so we have that name exists in English and in Czech, so it's perfect. So in Czech, how do we say it?
Veronica.
So if we slow it down, it's just Veronica. Right? Na, 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 na. Everything's the same. Na, 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 na. Veronica. Right? How do we say it in English?
Veronica. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad, actually. We need to create that contrast that I talked about, right? So in English, we don't say ve, we change it to v. So it's smaller.
Veronica.
Yeah. we don't say ro, we change it to just r. So it's small. So it's ver, and then ni is very, very big. No, sorry, I'm making a mistake. The ro is very, very big. And then the ni we change to just n, and ka we change to just k.
Veronica.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it takes a little bit of calibration, let's say, but it should be Veronica. Veronica. Right? Okay. So Czech version, Veronica. Da, 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 da. English version, Veronica. Da, 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 da. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. So that's great to know. And every word and every sentence in English is like this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the structure, it's the system of English. So everything you say should have some form of contrast. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so keep that in mind as we move forward. Yeah. And I'll continue. Any questions so far?
Not yet.
Okay, wonderful. So I'll start from like the very beginning. Yeah, and if it's too easy, then we can just we can move forward. So my question to you would be, how is your listening? How is your listening?
Listening? What do you mean? If I can hear you, or what?
No, I mean how easy it is for you to listen to English and to understand.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I think it's much easier than speaking.
Okay. Why is that? Any ideas?
Because I've been watching movies in English, and I studied my bachelor and master degree in English. So I listened a lot, but the speaking part was quite worse.
Okay. All right, we'll see what we can do with that. Okay. All right. So obviously, if you have any questions about like grammar, vocabulary, anything, just ask. Yeah.
Okay.
In the meantime, I'll continue with sort of the regular lesson. Okay. So we're focused on the speaking part right now. Yeah.
Great.
And English and Czech has different sounds. Actually, most of them are the same. Yeah. But there are some sounds that are different, that don't exist in Czech. Okay. So if you can open like a Google and type IPA chart, then it will show you IPA chart, which is International Phonemic Alphabet. And there you can see all the sounds of English. It's a little complicated, so we don't have to get into that now. But
okay.
yeah, if you
I
take a look at that in your own time. Okay, so the top half is vowels, the bottom half is consonants. There's 45 weird symbols, right?
Yes.
Weird pictures, not very important for us. Most of them are the same as they are in Czech. Yeah, so if you ignore the weird symbols, the first one is like I, U, E. Same thing we have in Czech. Yeah. So I want to mention just a few key ones that are different than we're used to in the Czech language. Okay. So number one is what I like to call the caveman sound. Officially, it's called the schwa, but I call it the caveman sound because if you imagine a caveman with like a club over his head, they tend to go like, right?
Okay.
So, this is the sound that I'm looking for. Can you do it for me? Mm. Very good. Now, can you make it long? Can you make fantastic. So this and the long version, this is the most common sound in all of English. It's number one. It happens a lot, like almost everywhere. Yeah. To give you an example, away,
Yeah.
ago, again. Yeah.
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
Yeah. Like foreigners, like Czech people and other foreigners who study English, they often change it to e. It's not e. It's not again. It's not ego. It's not that. Yeah. It's this ago, again.
Ago, again.
Yeah. It's a very simple sound. It's very neutral. You don't do anything complicated. It's just air. It's just and that's it. Yeah. It is so common because what I told you before, we have the contrast, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about Veronica again, what I do is I change the beginning and the end of Veronica to just this right? V. Yeah, it has two components. As it has the v and then the so v. Same with n.
No.
Right? And k. Yeah, very good. So all three of them have this in it, right? So we have three in one word. So it's Veronica. Hey, you're doing great. Yeah, Veronica.
Veronica. Veronica.
Just don't say Nika. It's Nika.
Nika. Nika.
Veronica.
Veronica.
That's better. Yeah. So that's why I just wanted to show that's why it's so common. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. The long version, that's just like if you don't when you don't know, right? We do it all the time. It's like that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. And since we're doing British English, we can before that, let's try and say her.
Her.
Perfect. Yeah, like her car.
Her car. Car.
Yeah, her. Yeah. Right? Or another word we could do with that is girl.
Like girl. Girl.
Yes,
girl.
but not like that. Do what I do, which is girl.
Girl.
Perfect. So one of the sort of specific things about British English is very often we don't say r. We skip it. Yeah, so we don't say, if you say girl, that's American. Yeah, okay. So in British, we would say girl.
Girl.
Very good. Excellent. All right, so that's we can move on unless you have questions.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Okay, fantastic. Next up, like or that's easy for us. I want to talk about the ah. Now it works like this. Now I need both my hands for this. So you can say ah, eh, and ah is right in the middle. So theoretical explanation, right, is in the middle. That's, I think, easy. The question is, how do we do it physically? So imagine you go to the doctors. You go to see a
Okay.
doctor, and they ask you to go like, perfect. Now do the same movement physically, but try to say air. Yeah, so that's how you do it. Yeah, the movement for is up and downs. For air, you go to the sides. Air. For this one, you go up and down, and you try to say air. So it should end up being like ah. And don't be afraid to go big. This is Czech people have problems with this sound because it's the biggest sound in English in terms of how much your mouth is opened, right?
Okay.
So try it. Yeah, very good. And we can say cat.
Cat.
Hat.
Hat.
App.
App.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, we can say something more complicated like fantastic.
Fantastic.
A little more.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's the contrast, right? We talked about. So you start small. It's like fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try it.
Fantastic.
That's better. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Good. Sometimes I tell people it's like a duck, like I. So it's It's a little bit like that. If it helps. Apple is another one, right? If you have an Apple computer, that's
Apple. Yeah.
Apple.
Apple.
Yeah. Fantastic. Next, we have like combinations of sounds. So like a, ear, which is e together, or ow, ow, o. I think that's easy. So we don't have to spend too much time on it. And we'll move on, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Next up, I want to mention p, t, k.
P, t, k. Okay.
I want to mention it because we have it in Czech, right? But in Czech, it's different. It's explosive. So it means physically in Czech, you hold it and let go. It's like b, t, k. It's like boom, 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 like that.
T, k.
Like that. That doesn't exist in English. Never, ever. Never. It's never like that. Yeah. It's always with breath. It's always breathy. It's aspirated. So it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time.
So, p, t, k.
Better. Yeah. And just try to relax when you do it. So we can try and say things like pen.
Pen.
Or 10.
10.
So let's do this one more time. 10.
10.
That's good. Sometimes it helps people if you think about t as something between t and c in Czech. Yeah?
The answer.
Or just c.
10.
Just say 10.
10.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, 10. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. So we had pen, 10. Let's try and say Ken.
Ken.
Like the doll, Barbie and Ken.
I play with it.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Fantastic. Yeah. And this, like I mentioned, this is always, always, always true, even if you have like 2 or 3 of these together. Yeah. So we could say what? Scription. That's just one, is it? What can we say? I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. Oh, we can say tentacle.
Yeah. What? Once again?
Sure. Tentacle.
Tentacle.
Not bad. Yeah, tentacle means chapadlo. Yeah, like if you have an octopus or something.
Okay.
But you have t, k, right? So it's tentacle.
Tentacle.
And it's easier if you're relaxed and if you use the breath. It's easier to connect. Tentacle.
Tentacle.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. This, like, for future, it also explains why, you know, people often say they don't understand English when people are speaking quickly. That's part of the reason that, you know, if you're coming from a syllable-based language, you want to hear all the syllables, like tentacle, and that's not how it is. It's a stress based. So you make something small and make something big. So you have tentacle, right? And to connect those things, it helps if it's breathy because you can transfer easier from one to the next. Okay, so that's p-t-k. Is that good?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Then we have, I'll give you like couples of sounds. We have most of them in Czech, yeah? But I want you to take your hand and put it here and just repeat after me. Can you feel the vibration?
Yes.
So let's do another one. Let's have.
I don't feel it in.
Yes, that's good. Let's try sh. Sh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel it in.
Very good. So all of these we have in Czech, right? Like Franta, like Vítek, like what? Saska, like zebra, like šárka, like žížela. Yeah. So all of that we have in Czech. In English, we have one couple that's extra. And that's what I mentioned at the beginning. So let's do it together. The first one is very good. No vibration. Second one is vibration.
Yeah.
So very good. Yeah, this is very good. And it's very, very common. We can say things like think.
Think.
Thigh.
Thigh.
Or thrive, or three.
Thrive. Three.
And the vibration would be this, that, the.
This, that, the.
Yeah? Yeah? That good? So the trick about it is you have to be okay with the tongue being outside of your mouth. Okay?
Okay.
Good. So that's these two sounds. Moving on, let's take a look at. Can you do?
What is it?
So just try it naturally. See what we have.
So once again, please.
That's better. Yeah. So what I'm doing, I'm blocking the airflow in my throat, and so it goes through the nose. Right? If you if you like take the tongue and just push it back, don't twist it or anything. It looks like this, yeah.
Okay.
It's a wonderful sight, isn't it? Yeah. So try it one more time. That's good. And this is very common. People don't think it is, but it's very common, and it's usually at the end of words. So we can say something like long,
long,
or sing.
sing,
Great. And then every word that ends with ing, right? So speaking,
speaking,
doing,
doing,
playing,
playing.
yeah, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah.
it's something like nosovka.
Yes. Very much so. Very much so. Yeah. Very good. And all right, two more I want to mention, and it's the same. It's the same face basically. It's almost the same face. One is w, and easy peasy, and one is r.
R,
Good.
r.
Yeah. So the only difference should be that for w, the tongue doesn't do anything. It's just relaxed. It's w. For r, the tongue, the tip of it, like lifts up. It doesn't have to touch anything, but it just lifts up a little bit. So it's like r. Very good. Yeah, very good. And the movement of basically anything in English, almost anything, is out. Yeah. So you're doing it very well, actually. One more time.
Thank you. R.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, sometimes people have a tendency to go back and say like something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Not good. You have a good habit. Yeah, going out.
R.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right. So those would be sort of the key sounds, yeah, that we have in English. Any questions about those?
Sorry?
Any questions about these sounds? Okay.
No.
So now let's do a little bit of an exercise to test your hearing, to test your listening. Yeah. It's very simple. Don't worry. I'll tell you sounds, yeah, two sounds, and your job is to tell me yes, they're the same, or no, they're not the same.
Okay.
And that's it. Yeah. I'm not trying to trick you. Yeah. I'm not trying to like do something where I would catch you. I'm still a human being, so sometimes I might be lower with my voice. Sometimes I might be higher. Just take it naturally. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes people overanalyze it. So don't. Yeah. I'm just it'll be, I think, clear enough, and it'll be that. Okay. All right. So I'll start with
It's the same.
eh,
It's not the same.
eh.
It's the same.
Eh.
It's the same as the previous one. No?
Okay. No.
Yes.
Uh.
Yes. No? I don't know. It's the same for the third time. No, it's not.
Can be, sure. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Let's do one more.
One more time, please.
Uh.
It's the same.
Uhr.
The same.
Er.
No.
A.
The same.
A.
No.
A. Ah.
No.
Ah. Ah.
Yes.
Ah. Ah.
No.
Ah. Ah.
Yes.
Eh.
No.
Ah.
One more time, please.
Eh.
No.
B.
No.
B.
No.
P.
Yes.
P.
Yes.
P.
Yes.
T. D.
No.
T.
Yes.
D. B.
No.
K.
Yes.
K.
Yes.
G.
No.
G.
One more time.
G.
Yes.
G. K.
No.
K.
No. No. Yes. Yes. No. 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 Yes. No. Mm, no.
Let's do mm.
No.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm.
No.
W. V.
No.
W.
Yes.
W. R.
No.
R. R.
Yes.
R. R.
Yes.
R. R.
Yes.
All right. Are you okay?
Yes. It was quite complicated sometimes.
Was it? Well, you'll be happy to know that you got pretty much everything correctly. So, yay!
Hey, great.
Yeah, fantastic. So, I do this exercise, or do you, is there something you want to ask about?
No, just sometimes it looked or it seemed that you do the same voice, but with different, how to say it, mouth or.
Can you think of an example?
I don't remember it.
I suspect it might be.
Yeah, but there is a difference. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Right? If
Because
I
there is
cover,
a difference
like,
with your tongue and.
if I hide it and I
Yeah.
say.
It's very similar, but I can see the difference. But or I can see the difference, but it's very similar.
Sure, it is similar. Let's try.
Yeah, the first one is more with the breath outside, or.
I'll do it one more time.
Yeah, I can hear it now.
And
Now it's the same. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. So, is that what you meant?
Yeah, it's one of the examples. I don't remember all of them.
Yes. So that's why I usually tell clients to use your eyes first. Yeah, just watch people's face. What is it doing?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people focus only on what they hear, and that can be very similar, especially if you don't know the difference in movement, right?
Yeah.
That's why I think people often make mistakes with like yeah. So if they don't see it, if they only hear it, it's pretty close. But as soon as I put it into context and I say think and think,
Mm-hmm.
the difference gets more pronounced. But if you don't know how to do the then you just skip to what you know, which will be think, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes people say think or I
Yeah.
think, right? So
Think.
that's why it comes back to the muscle memory thing. You want to spend time on sort of learning how to do these things, move properly, and train yourself to move properly.
Okay.
You know? All right. Any questions?
Mm, maybe how to learn it in speaking, like because there are too many pronunciation variabilities and and yeah, how to learn it, like
Mhm.
because speaking is normally very fast, so
So there's a couple of questions in your question.
yeah, maybe.
Speaking can be quicker. It depends on the person who's talking. So I'll answer that first. People don't speak as fast as foreigners think. That's my estimation.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason for that is, like I mentioned, if you're coming from a syllable-based language like Czech, you are used to hearing the syllables, right? So you want to hear all the syllables.
Yeah.
And if you don't hear them, your brain tells you that's too fast. I didn't hear everything. It was too fast. But if I uh, give you an example of a sentence like what? I don't know. The students will be taking the tests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that too complicated?
No.
Yeah. So what am I saying? The students will be taking the tests.
Že studenti budou dělat testy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if you say it in English, what am I saying? The students will be taking the tests.
The students will be taking the tests.
Yes. And you can notice that your version and my version is different.
Yeah, your
Right?
is shorter.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not saying what you think I should be saying. Yeah. For example, with the word will.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it very quickly. I'm not saying the students will be taking this. I'm just saying l.
Mm-hmm.
The students will be taking the tests. Right? So
Yeah.
if you say it with me very, very slowly and just copy what I do, the
The
students
students will
will be
be taking
taking the test.
tests.
Yeah. And that's what it is. And you just make it faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe one more simple example is when you introduce yourself and you say, "Hi, I'm John."
Hi, I'm Caroline or John or
Sure. It doesn't matter. Yeah. This principle informs a lot of grammar in English. So you always know, in English you have the short version and long version. right? The basic example is or I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. And it's not the same thing in different speed, right? One is just just
Mhm.
and one is I am, I am,
I am. I am.
right? So you have 4 against 2. So
Yeah.
of course the 2 is faster because
Mhm.
it's half the sounds that you have to make.
And is it that the shorter version is more like between friends, and the longer is more polite, or
No,
it's just no?
no, that's a fantastic question. I think it comes from like the regular schools. What is the difference between the short and the long, between and I am, John? Is it the same?
Yes. No. I don't know.
So I
It's
know.
shorter.
So I usually say no.
Okay.
Grammatically speaking, you can get away with saying it's the same. Remember how at the beginning I mentioned English is based on contrasts,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
everything you say needs to have something loud and big and everything else small. That's what creates contrast. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's why you have the short and long versions. So the short version, generally speaking, is neutral.
Mm-hmm.
If we take the example of John, I'll use both hands for this. So if we say John, what's the important part?
The name,
The name.
John.
Yeah. So I don't need to spend time on I am, right? I want
Yeah.
to say just I'm John. I am
Mhm.
John. That's what you hear. That's what's important. Yeah. That's like a neutral, normal context. But in a different context where maybe you say, hi, I'm John, and somebody else goes like, well, I don't believe you. I thought that person was John.
Mhm.
Then you would say, no, 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 no. I am John,
Yeah.
right?
So it depends on the impact you want to give,
Yes.
maybe.
Yeah. So saying I am John puts the emphasis on
Yeah.
you don't believe me? I am John, right?
Yeah.
Because the problem is not with the name. You know my name. You just don't believe that I am John. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Not
So,
emphasis.
mhm.
Yeah.
So it is not the same in terms of meaning. Yeah. And then I mention it specifically because Czech people or foreigners in general, when they come from syllable-based languages, they tend to have everything long. I
Mhm.
I am very happy that I will be meeting you. Like I am, it's the syllable-based style, right? It's the syllable-based system, which you don't want to do in English
Yeah.
because it's all the same. Yeah, we need that difference.
Mhm.
So that English works well with other foreigners. So if you talk to like, French or Germans or, other Spanish, Italians, whatever, other Europeans, you can get along with them pretty fine. But with Americans and British people, it tends to be harder because they do this all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And so to give you one more example, I was watching, what was it? Game of Thrones some time
Yeah.
ago,
I
right?
like it.
And there was a great scene from when Tyrion,
Yeah.
the
Small guy.
short one, the dwarf, the imp as they call him, um, he was on trial for murder, right, for killing the king, I think. And they were asking questions like, "Have you nothing to say in your defense?" And he's like, nothing but this. I did not do it." So in that case, you want to be very clear that you did not kill Joffrey, right? I did not kill Joffrey. But like 30 seconds before that, he was saying a sentence that was like, I didn't do it. It wasn't me, which was the condensed version because it was just like neutral.
Yeah,
Right?
okay. Mm-hmm.
So if you constantly speak in that long version, it's very strange. It's kind of like yelling all the time. A little bit. It's hard
Okay.
to sort of explain like that. And then I can give you one more example. This is like an advanced exercise that I do later. Can you write?
Yeah.
So write down this sentence, yeah? Students take tests.
Wait a minute.
Sure.
Okay. Students
Take tests.
Tests.
That's one version. Let's have under it, let's have students are taking the tests.
Students are taking the tests.
And number 3, let's have all of the students.
All of the students.
All of the students will have been taking.
Will have been taking.
All of the tests.
All of the tests.
Yeah. I'll show you another example why the short long is important. So what is the important information in number 1?
Students take tests. Or what do you mean?
Exactly.
Short.
Yeah, very good. Very good. What's the important information in number 3?
That's students.
And I mean in terms of words, not in terms of like meaning.
Okay. Are taking the test. No.
Close enough, but it's the same. In all 3 versions, it's students take or taking tests. That's like the key information that you want to communicate. Yeah.
And so the question is about what? Or
so I'll add one more thing to it, which is the rhythm of English tends to be 3 beats. Yeah, so it's like a 1 and 2 and 3. So it's easy to do that with number 1. Students take tests, right?
Yeah.
Try it.
Students take tests.
And do it with the second one.
Students are taking the tests.
No.
Yeah.
Right? You need 3. Okay? So students take tests. And you said students are taking the tests. That's 4. It still needs to be 3.
So students are taking the tests.
Yeah. So it should be students are taking the tests.
Students are taking the tests.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have the same amount of time.
Yeah.
But first you have only 3 words. And then in the second you have more words. And in the third version you have many more words.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's the same amount of time. So how do you say it when you have the same amount of time? You need to be able to, cut things. Right?
Okay.
Do you want to try all 3?
So the third version, all of the students love been taking all of the tests.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Right? And you have to do it. So it's not, you cannot just say it quickly. That's not enough. Like all of the, that's the syllable bay, all of the. it needs to shrink into all of
the students.
Right?
All of the students.
Yeah, all of the students.
Students will be... Ježiš, to je hrozný.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're doing very well though. Yeah.
All of the students have been taking all of the tests.
Yes, very good. Very good. Yeah. So if I were to show it like that, right, it would be students take tests.
Mm-hmm.
Students are taking the tests. All of the students have been taking all of the tests. Yeah. It's like before I even start, I have to say all of the students have been taking all of the tests. Right? And that seems very strange, but when people talk, you say it normally, like all of the students have been taking all of the tests by the time we buy the cake or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's answer number one. Answer number two, if I remember correctly, your question, how do you learn it? My method starts from the bottom and then you build it up. So today we had just sounds, individual sounds, right? Next time we're going to put them together. So instead of saying just we would say brr, right? Including the face. Then we would combine syllables. So instead of, saying just, I don't know, but like bay, we would say baby. And what's the difference between baby and baby? Right? It's the ending.
Yeah.
So, and that trains you to, move correctly, first of all. Also trains your ears to notice the small differences, because there is a difference. If I say baby, what does that mean?
Baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's like záliv včely.
Yeah, very good. Záliv včely nebo záliv B.
B, yo, baby, yeah.
Baby. If I say baby,
it's mimino.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's a small difference, but it matters. Same if I say thin. So thin is
Thin. To je hubený, ne?
Thin je tenký, hubený. A fin.
Fin. F. Fin? Nevím.
Fin je ploutev.
Tak to. A jak se to píše? Jak to fin?
F-in.
F-in normálně.
Yeah. So these differences matter. Then we would get to, from syllables and doubles, we would get to words. That's just words. Then sentences, tongue twisters, conversation. And then we would look at the stress, the emphasis. Where do we put the loud part? Melody and rhythm. Rhythm is the 1 and 2 and 3. Melody is if you go high or low. We can do vocabulary, where there are differences between British and American vocabulary. And then at the end, there's something called the vibe, which is where you make it your own, you customize it to whatever way you like. Yeah?
Sounds great.
That would be the method. All right, I think that'll be it for the first lesson today. Any questions, any comments, anything?
No, I really liked it. Thank you.
All right, my pleasure. I will say this, that maybe I'll switch back to Czech. Další hodiny si můžeme domluvit přes Facebook nebo něco, anebo na mých stránkách neposerse.cz je jako taková ta záložka nahoře angličtina. Já tam mám knížku, kterou jsem vydal, je tam angličtina a tam je normálně kalendář, kde se dají zabukovat časy vlastně automaticky já tam mám, kdy mám volno, takže pak nemusím jako se nějak komplikovaně domluvat takhle.
Dobře, se na to podívám.
Cool. Kdybys měla nějaké dotazy, jakékoliv, tak mi pošli message, já se pokusím odpovědět. A nebo se můžeš přidat, myslím, že už tam jsi, do facebookové skupiny, #neposerse.
Podívám se.
#neposerse je pro vlastně komunitu, kde jako já sdílím domácí úkoly a další věci jednak o knížce a o angličtině a lidi si tak pomáhají navzájem. A pak je stránka na Facebooku Neposerse, která je víc o té knížce. A tam dělám jako takový updaty a co se děje aktuálního. Takže možná to #neposerse pro úkoly a pro rady nejenom ode mě, ale i od ostatních.
Dobře.
Okay.
Tak to.
Tak jo. Tak já děkuju. A když tak příště.
Tak jo. Ahoj.
Bye.